Have you ever looked at a celebrity couple and thought they had everything figured out? The glamorous photos, the effortless chemistry, the carefully curated moments that seem to tell the world, this is what a perfect relationship looks like. Then, almost overnight, everything changes. The pictures stop. The public appearances disappear. The internet begins asking questions, and before anyone involved says a single word, thousands of people have already written their own version of the story. That's exactly what happened when fans noticed that Marjorie Harvey and Damson Idris no longer appeared together. What started as quiet curiosity quickly turned into one of the biggest celebrity conversations online. Every post, every interview, and every old video suddenly became evidence in a mystery that millions of people wanted to solve. But here's the interesting part. The breakup itself wasn't what captured everyone's attention. It was the theories. Almost immediately, social media became flooded with speculation. Some people believed the relationship simply ran its course, while others insisted something much bigger had happened behind the scenes. Among the loudest rumors was the idea that family dynamics may have played a role. Those rumors spread across commentary channels, blogs, and online discussions, creating a narrative that grew larger with every repost. It's important to remember that none of these claims have been confirmed by the people involved. Still, that hasn't stopped the internet from trying to connect every possible. Why? Because celebrity relationships are rarely viewed as just relationships anymore. They're treated like public stories, where every chapter is analyzed by millions of strangers determined to discover what happened before anyone else. In this case, many online discussions centered around one question that refused to disappear. Was this simply another Hollywood breakup? Or was there more happening behind the scenes than anyone realized? For years, Marjorie Harvey built a public image that fascinated audiences. She wasn't known for constantly explaining her private life or responding to every headline. Instead, she maintained an air of mystery that made people even more interested whenever her name appeared in the news. That strategy worked remarkably well. Every relationship became major entertainment news. Every appearance generated headlines. Every photograph sparked conversations across social media. Whether people admired her confidence or criticized the intense attention surrounding her dating life, one thing remained undeniable. People watched. Damson Idris entered that spotlight with a very different reputation. Rather than building his career through public controversy, he became recognized for his performances and steady rise as an actor. His success seemed to come from consistent work instead of constant publicity. To many fans, that combination looked promising. One person represented modern celebrity culture and fashion influence. The other represented discipline, ambition, and artistic credibility. Together, they appeared to balance each other in a way that made the relationship feel genuine. That's why so many people were surprised when everything seemed to end so quietly. There were no dramatic interviews, no public arguments,
no lengthy social media statements.
Just silence. Ironically, that silence created even more speculation than a public explanation probably would have. When celebrities remain quiet, the internet often fills the empty space with theories. Every missing photo becomes a clue. Every old interview becomes a hidden message. Every interaction is examined frame by frame as people search for answers that may never actually exist. Soon, online commentators began revisiting interviews involving the Harvey family, especially conversations about relationships, standards, and personal boundaries. Some viewers interpreted those discussions as examples of strong parenting and high expectations. Others wondered whether such guidance could become overwhelming if taken too far. Again, these were interpretations made by audiences, not confirmed accounts from the family themselves. Yet once those conversations started, they spread rapidly. One theory suggested that any serious partner entering such a high-profile family would naturally face unique pressures. Another argued that celebrity relationships operate differently from ordinary ones because personal lives often overlap with public image and business opportunities. Whether those ideas reflected reality or not, they resonated with viewers because they touched on something larger than one celebrity couple. They raised a universal question. How much outside influence can a relationship survive before it stops feeling like it belongs to the two people inside it? That question fueled countless discussions online. People weren't only debating Marjorie Harvey and Damson Idris anymore. They were debating relationships, family expectations, independence, success, and the complicated balance between personal happiness and public image. Some commentators suggested that celebrities often live inside carefully managed brands rather than completely private lives. Others pushed back, arguing that outsiders know only a tiny fraction of what actually happens behind closed doors. The truth is, both perspectives contain some reality. Public figures choose to share certain moments with audiences, but those moments represent only a small percentage of their actual lives. A smiling photograph tells us almost nothing about private conversations, personal struggles, or the everyday realities that never reach social media. That's what makes celebrity culture so fascinating. People often mistake visibility for complete understanding. The more famous someone becomes, the more audiences feel like they know them personally, even though most of that knowledge comes from carefully selected moments rather than everyday reality. As discussions intensified, another interesting pattern emerged. Instead of focusing entirely on the breakup, many people began examining the broader image surrounding the Harvey family. Over the years, the family developed a reputation for elegance, confidence, and polished public appearances. Everything from fashion choices to interviews projected a sense of control and sophistication. To supporters, that image represented hard work and careful professionalism. To critics, it sometimes appeared almost too perfect. Whenever public figures become associated with perfection, audiences naturally become curious about what might exist beneath the surface.
That's not unique to this family.
It happens repeatedly throughout entertainment history. The more flawless an image appears, the more intensely people search for imperfections. Some online commentators argued that this dynamic explained why the breakup received so much attention. It wasn't simply because two celebrities separated. It was because the separation challenged a narrative people had already accepted. When expectations collide with uncertainty, curiosity grows exponentially. That curiosity eventually transformed into thousands of videos, articles, podcasts, and discussions examining every possible explanation, regardless of whether reliable evidence existed to support those theories. Meanwhile, the people at the center of the conversation remained largely silent. Sometimes silence protects privacy. Other times it creates even louder conversations. Either way, it reminds us that public speculation and verified facts are not always the same thing. And as more theories continued spreading across the internet, one question remained unanswered. Was everyone searching for the truth? Or simply the most entertaining story? As the online conversation grew louder, something unusual began to happen. The breakup itself almost faded into the background. Instead, the public became fascinated by a much bigger question. What really happens when personal relationships become part of a public brand? For celebrities, love doesn't exist in complete privacy. Every appearance is photographed. Every vacation becomes a headline. Every social media post is analyzed for hidden meaning. Even something as simple as unfollowing someone can dominate entertainment news for days. That reality creates enormous pressure. Unlike most couples, celebrities often have to balance their genuine emotions with public expectations. Millions of people begin rooting for the relationship, criticizing it, or predicting its ending before the couple has even figured things out themselves. That's why so many observers wondered whether outside pressure alone could have been enough to change the course of Marjorie Harvey and Damson Idris' relationship. Nobody outside their inner circle truly knows. Yet that uncertainty didn't stop countless theories from appearing online. One of the most common discussions revolved around independence. Fans often described Damson Idris as someone who had built his career steadily through talent and persistence. Long before becoming a familiar face in Hollywood, he earned recognition through years of dedication to his craft. That reputation shaped how many viewers interpreted the breakup. Some believed he represented someone focused primarily on his career rather than celebrity headlines. Others argued that Marjorie Harvey had developed a similarly impressive career in fashion, beauty, and lifestyle, proving she was far more than just a famous last name. From that perspective, the relationship looked like two successful individuals building something together. which made its ending even more surprising. As entertainment commentators searched for explanations, another pattern emerged. People began comparing this relationship to Lori's previous public romances. Every celebrity relationship leaves behind a trail of headlines, interviews, photographs, and internet discussions. Once a new breakup happens, audiences naturally revisit the past, looking for similarities that may or may not actually exist. Some viewers claimed they noticed recurring themes. Others insisted every relationship should be judged on its own. The debate became less about facts and more about interpretation. That's one of the defining characteristics of modern celebrity culture. Everyone has access to the same public information, yet everyone reaches different conclusions. One person sees confidence, another sees caution, one sees healthy boundaries, another sees emotional distance. The same photographs, the same interviews, the same public appearances, but completely different stories. Social media amplifies those differences because opinions spread much faster than verified information. Within hours, one theory becomes another person's certainty. A speculation repeated often enough begins sounding like established fact, even when no evidence confirms it. This is why celebrity narratives evolve so quickly. They're built as much by audiences as by the celebrities themselves. Every comment section becomes another chapter. Every reaction video adds another perspective. Every podcast introduces another possibility. Soon, separating fact from assumption becomes increasingly difficult. The conversation surrounding Marjorie Harvey and Damson Idris reflected exactly that phenomenon. Rather than focusing on confirmed information, much of the online discussion revolved around hypothetical scenarios. What if? Maybe. It would make sense if. Those phrases appeared everywhere. While interesting, they also highlighted an important reality. Speculation is not the same as proof. Still, human nature makes unanswered questions incredibly difficult to ignore. Psychologists have long observed that people dislike uncertainty. When information is missing, our minds instinctively try to complete the story. We search for patterns, motivations, and explanations, even when we don't have enough information to reach reliable conclusions. Celebrity culture magnifies that instinct. Millions of people attempt to solve mysteries using only fragments of publicly available information. Sometimes they guess correctly. Many times they don't. Yet the guessing never stops. As online conversations continued, another topic gained momentum: authenticity. More than ever before, audiences wanted to know whether the lives presented on social media reflected reality. Over the last decade, celebrities have become more than entertainers. They've become brands. Their relationships influence advertising campaigns. Their public image affects partnerships. Their reputation shapes business opportunities. In many ways, perception carries enormous value. That doesn't mean relationships are fake. It simply means public attention creates pressures that most ordinary couples never experience. Every public appearance communicates something. Every interview shapes perception. Every carefully selected photograph contributes to a larger narrative. Supporters argue that's simply part of being famous. Critics worry it can blur the line between genuine emotion and public presentation. Neither perspective fully explains every celebrity relationship, but together they reveal why audiences remain endlessly fascinated by them. The Marjorie Harvey and Damson Idris story became a perfect example of this larger conversation. Some people viewed it as an ordinary breakup between two successful individuals. Others believed it symbolized the challenges of balancing love, family expectations, career ambitions, and constant public attention. Without confirmation from those directly involved, both viewpoints remain interpretations rather than established facts. Perhaps that's the most interesting aspect of all. Sometimes the public isn't really searching for answers. It's searching for meaning. People want celebrity stories to represent something bigger than the individuals involved. Success, failure,
Love, control,
freedom,
growth.
those themes make entertainment stories feel personal, even when the audience has never met the people involved. As weeks passed, the headlines slowly became less frequent. New celebrity stories replaced old ones. Another engagement, another breakup, Another viral controversy. That's how the entertainment cycle works. Attention moves quickly. Yet this particular story continued resurfacing because it raised questions that extend far beyond Hollywood. Can public image place invisible pressure on private relationships? Can constant scrutiny change the way people communicate with each other? Can millions of strangers discussing your personal life make an already difficult situation even harder? Those are questions with no simple answers. They apply not only to celebrities, but increasingly to anyone living part of their life online. Perhaps that's why audiences connected with the story so deeply. It wasn't only about famous people. It reflected the modern challenge of balancing authenticity with expectation in a world where every moment can become public. And maybe, beneath all the headlines, rumors, and endless online debates, that's the real story people have been trying to understand all along.